Nadya, welcome. This is from Zero to Agency Hero podcast edition. I'm happy to have you with me here on this podcast. How are you?
Yeah, I'm so happy to join. So glad to be here.
My job today and what I'm very excited about is to learn more about Qubstudio and about you as the CEO. And again, I've already shared with you some questions, but I really wanted to get deep into nitty gritty of your business because um, you guys are in a line of business, you are in like in a design agency, or you were a design agency, I guess, and now you're a full cycle digital marketing agency. So, which we can talk about as well. But just generally, this is a type of business where a lot of my subscribers, the audience is, and just generally people love to work in that line of business. So, you guys been in this for um, 18 years. Is it
17.
17 years? Wow.
Uh, it's not a fixed date of founding, but around 17.
Yeah. So I have 60 minutes to ask you some weird questions, and I would love if you can answer them and just share that knowledge with the people listening to this. All right. So first, for this podcast, I am choosing professional service companies, agencies who've been ranked as top 100 professional service providers in 2022 by Clutch. And we've had the 2023 list just being announced last month. And I see that in the 2022, you guys been ranked the 92. So, which is, again, congrats, like top 100 companies worldwide in the professional service. So, my congratulations to you. But then this year, you guys went down to a few spots, if you noticed, to 150. Why is that? What happened there?
Yeah, actually, I don't know how exact Clutch calculates all these ratings, but actually, we are a niche company positioning on Clutch in UX. So, and if you will take a look, especially on a rating of UX agencies,
Right.
we will be in top 3
Mhm.
UX agency worldwide. And actually, the position is the same from this year compared to previous year.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
from design perspective, from user experience perspective,
Right.
our position is still the same.
Yeah.
We work on clients' testimonials and portfolio, etc.
Mhm.
But I couldn't go such deeply to
Yeah.
explain why it happens to those general rating.
Honestly, it doesn't make sense because like from where I stand, they have a weird calculation every year, and although, like, when you think about your industry, like your UX like comparison table, then it's pretty straightforward. You kind of see where you rank against the other agencies, like how many ratings you have, what's your general score, etc., etc. Whereas with the global one, you just kind of cannot figure it out, right? And I know it makes sense. So if Clutch is listening to this, Clutch, please give us more information about how do you guys rate that, because again, it really affects the PR of the companies, and you cannot like affect it in any way, capacity, shape, or form, and you just didn't know how this whole thing built. And honestly, like when I look at the first 3 companies in today's year list, I feel that the whole rating system is wrecked, because like honestly, like those companies have like very few reviews, very few growth, and you're like, how they can be the top 2 in the world if you have like 10 reviews or something, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. So but anyhow, we're not talking about the Clutch. Tell me about you. Something that I've found super exciting. You joined Qubstudio about 10 years ago, and you joined team as project manager. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
And now you're CEO, and
Mhm.
you've been CEO for like 7 years or 8 years. So how does it happen?
But
I'm sure like a lot of people listening to this that are working for some agencies, they think like, hey, for me to be a CEO of this agency, I need to start my own agency potentially. But your story suggests that there is another way around. So tell me more about
Mhm.
how this happened.
Actually, yeah, my journey at Qubstudio started 10 years ago as a project manager, moving up to CEO actually 5 years ago. So in general, I am 10 years at Qubstudio, 5 as a project manager and 5 as a CEO. Um, Actually, I was the first non-production people, not production person in a company except our founder, Lubomir. So he managed everything by himself before me, but then I joined it as a project manager to actually to help him to sort out all
Right.
those things connected with project. And I always had those. I always feel Studio as my own company, and I always took care about different things, not just about projects, but also about sales, marketing, HR topics, etc. And it was interesting for me,
Right.
and I tried to solve several issues. And from at one moment, we decided that it could be a good decision to put the project manager in the head of design agency, because we required more discipline,
Right.
more processes, and we took this experiment, and maybe it was successful.
Well, I bet it was. How many people, and what was the, I don't know, like top line revenue, or where you been in terms of the growth at that point in time when you took the charge of the agency? How big you were guys were there?
Yeah, actually, we started as a web design agency with website creation and logotypes, most for local market.
Mhm.
But then, uh, like we were, when I joined it, we were a team of around up to 30 people.
Okay.
But and we did both design and development work for websites as well. But then the term as a user experience
Right.
became popular, and
Yeah.
we decided to dive deep into the science,
Mhm.
and we tried to implement those UX UI approaches to our activities. And actually 10 years ago we were pioneers into this in Ukraine, and we even created the first UX UI learning course in
Oh,
Ukraine.
wow.
And so we decided to focus
Mhm.
just on design services. We decided to go in a niche of
Right.
design, and at that point I became a CEO,
Okay.
and we stopped development work in
Uh-huh.
house
Mhm.
and started our journey as just niche design agency company. It was a 5-year journey, but
Yeah.
now we would like to change this model again.
Again, back to, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so basically you decided to go niche, you decided to focus on UI UX design, being very like catered to that like offering. And then
Mhm.
when that happened, what was your kind of business model? How you were charging your customers?
Mhm. Yeah, model is classical for agencies, and we do outsourcing, also outsourcing work. So basically, we charge by hourly rate.
Okay. It's an hour late. What's the name?
Yeah,
It's called like time and material. Is that
yeah,
the
time
correct?
and material model, but it's not limited just to time and material. We are okay and comfortable to take fixed price projects
Mhm.
when we can estimate the whole project and guarantee the end result within fixed budget. As we have really well developed project management office, we learn how to do it effectively,
Right.
and in most cases now we are strict to our project constraints, which is
Gotcha.
time, scope, and budget. Yeah, and
Did you
it,
go ahead?
mhm. Yeah, and I can consider this also as one of our beneficial things, and
Hmm.
one of our like core benefits, which help us to grow.
Right.
Like having this strong project management office, which is untypical for most of design
Design agencies,
agencies.
and we're gonna talk about that in a second, but I wanted to go back
Okay.
to that, business model. So time and material right now, did you, why did you decided to go with time and material plus some fixed cost and not with other business model? Or you had something did you try some other models in the past? Or just what was the logic? Why this model works really well in your line of business of work?
Um, because it's transparent
Okay,
for our client, and as we try to be operationally effective,
right.
so it helps us to maintain our effectiveness and
Mhm,
to really calculate our efforts for the project and be transparent with our clients. How much time and efforts do we need to complete the certain
right.
scope?
Yeah. What are the
Uh,
disadvantages of this model? Tell me about the disadvantages. Like, what did
um,
you notice something is like, yeah, it's not the best for
Uh, it could be difficult when we start collaboration
Mhm.
with new client, because sometimes we could have lack of trust, or
Right,
we haven't proof successful experience with this particular client. So
right.
at the beginning, we need to invest a little more efforts into convince them to go with such a model. But after several weeks of
Right.
involvement, they can see our processes results and how we report them, and they are okay with that. Uh, we choose this model because it's flexible. It
Right.
gives flexibility for our clients to change the scope.
Mhm.
If we are talking about design of digital products, it is agile methodology, and we need to adapt features and products according to market needs, etc., according to users' feedback. And it's difficult to estimate the full scope in advance, because digital product design and development lifecycle is continuous.
Yeah.
And the time and material models gives flexibility to change the scope and
Mhm.
to plan work by sprints, and
Yeah.
estimate sprints, and then
Mhm.
deliver value and report on that time and material spent.
I I had a call with a UI/UX agency from Europe who was pitching me, and they had this interesting business model of a retainer. So they charge a fixed retainer, let's say 6K a month, and they work with two sprints, something like 11 story points per sprint. Essentially, so it's gonna be, let's say, 22, 24 story points, and then it's essentially the UI/UX designer and then the mentor or lead designer who will be
Mhm.
overseeing that, and they like work with that retainer like as they go. What do you think about this model? Like generally, can this type of engagement might work for some companies?
Yeah, it makes sense. And actually, when we talk about time and material, it doesn't mean that we charge for every particular person for
Hmm.
his or her time
Hmm.
spent.
Hmm.
We charge for our agency as a service
Hmm.
cost.
Hmm.
And the rate that our client pays to us is like the rate for the service, not for this
Mm,
particular person. And
gotcha.
we include into the service basically not experience of just this particular
Hmm.
specialist, but
Hmm.
of course the experience of the
The
whole
entire agency,
agency.
right?
Yeah, and also um, dedication to the project art director or
Hmm.
lead designer, and it is included into this rate for the service.
But then, is there any like minimum that I need to pay to sign up, or how would I like? So generally, like, do you
Mhm.
accept if I need to have to hit X number of minimum hours or X number of things? Like, what are
Mhm.
the criteria for me to become your client?
Mhm. Actually, we had this in our strategy during the entire year.
Hmm.
Our goal was to go faster,
Right.
to start faster, and to make our sales cycle shorter with our
Mhm,
clients, because now
mhm.
market requires rapid solutions and quick
Right.
delivery.
Yeah.
So for that particular reason, we developed several engagement models. We call
Mhm,
it collaboration models with
mhm,
our client,
mhm,
that how we usually start work. And we developed several short services that are cheap, or like and
Entry
we could
entry level. We call them like entry level. Yeah, yeah.
and we could they help us to attract clients, to give them impression how we work, and to show them our expertise, and to demonstrate fast results. And it could be 1 or 2 weeks sprint, um, depends on the situation. It could be UX UI design review of their entire service. We even could improve their look and feel just in 1 week with a concept sprint service. Or it could be design sprint when we
Yeah.
solve particular issue with their product. And we have fixed cost for these services.
Mhm.
And in that case, for our clients is they could make a decision faster to
Yeah.
start collaboration, to try.
Yeah.
And then we discuss the rest of models, how we will charge, how we will work. But for us, it's really important to show our value from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's a great point. I think I just wanted to make sure that people pick this up from your answer. Rapid solution, move quicker, offer an entry level engagement where it's a fixed cost, it's kind of boxed cookie cutter, it's understandable, it's easier to sell, and then expand that account within once you already are in there to show that okay, we can deliver, and then let's now talk how expansion. And obviously, because again, we also going to talk that in a second, but acquisition, like customer acquisition cost and acquisition, has been a pain in the ass for many agencies during 2023, and then probably in the next year as well. So what can we do to close more accounts, to stand out, to get our hands into their operation, and then try to grow them from within, right? And cross sell, upsell, and do some other nice things. So can you talk to me about your ideal client profile? So I know for a fact that you are in different industries, but just generally, if you were to describe your ideal clientele, what are the main type of customers, like size, industry, location that you guys kind of work with? And then tell me why you went and why you're tapping into that ICP as well, not the other way around.
So we work with different customer profiles, and we apply different strategies into involving them, attracting them to Qubstudio.
Right.
I could emphasize 3 main target groups of our clients. The first one is a startup founder. It could be CEO or CTO of a startup who wants to build from scratch or revamp their current digital solution. The second is digital transformation specialist. Usually they are from large companies, from established businesses. It could be banks, typical case for us. And they would like to implement innovations which are around user needs. They would like to create something new, which that will resonate with their customers, and they attract us into this experiment. They give us a chance. They give us a chance to produce something innovative for them.
Right.
And the third one is marketing directors. With marketing directors, we work mostly from branding perspective. They ensure that we have the smooth customer journey and consistent look and feel through all the marketing touch points for marketing directors.
So the marketing directors, are they like in a mid-sized type of company, like 200, 500 people, or?
It should be noted that we work with digital first businesses. So if we are talking about branding or website design and development, mostly we work with digital products. Also, it could be different startups or technological companies.
But they are like what? So I see like founders and
so
CEO of
large.
startups, not so large, on the lower side. But okay, I'm curious. Is it different working with this type of customers? It is definitely selling to larger banks, and the small startups is different. By why you guys are spread across? Why you're not
Mhm.
focusing just on the startups and catering to them? Why you went in and service two different groups or three different groups, which are a bit different in terms of how they work, how they operate, how their budget. I think even in terms of the payment, I think like small companies like startups can pay probably upfront or can tell you, hey, do you want equity? Do you want like some shares? And then larger companies want like net 60 or net 90 for like payments, or I don't know. Is there a difference?
The pricing model and the payment models are pretty the same for all our clients. But if we are talking about startups, they should value design-driven approach, and they should understand the general software development lifecycle. They should understand the value of design agency to partner with. That's why we work mostly with like more mature founders that they have understanding the value of outsourcing design services. If you are talking about startup founders, they usually come to us through inbound activities, through our website or through our references or market presence, through our reputation. For instance, we have a good presence in a Y Combinator community among YC startups. But if we are talking about our outbound activities, the customer that we would like to target, then you will reach the second group about digital transformation specialists. It's difficult to receive them inbound through website, and the life cycle of making decision is longer. It could be 6 months or more. And we take this risk and we invest into developing relationships with those type of clients because we understand the amount of potential revenue that could be generated to partner with them. That's why this diversification gives us flexibility into timeline of attracting clients, flexibility into allocating our team, to provide short time and mid-size and long time services also help us to keep our team engaged. Because if we are talking with the smaller projects, they can change project, they can try themselves into different industries, web and mobile, and it increases our engagement rate of our team. But
this
of course, the main revenue generators are larger collaborations because they are long and they are stable.
You don't invest into acquisition. You basically make profits off the retention revenue that they give you. Now, this strategy going or moving up market when you start attracting more mid-sized customer, more large customers, and putting your marketing and kind of sales efforts and account efforts into there, what was the driving decisions to go up market? Was it like, hey, we need to make more margins if we wanted to continue growing and keep going, or we had some market constraints, like we've already had our share of startups and now we need to expand, or generally like you just attracted one or two clients and then like, oh, we can get more? Like, was there any specific time or like a moment in time when if you remember, where like you decided strategically to move up market? And now something that I picked up that not a lot of agencies are thinking about is, as you mentioned, like, what is my life cycle? What is a sales cycle? What's like how much money I'm spending acquiring? How much money I will be making from the retention, and building your strategic marketing and sales force considering those factors, right? So, what was that situation for you?
We made this decision around 2-3 years ago that we would like to reach larger customers. Actually, our we had, and now we are still in collaboration with leading digital bank in Bahrain. and they are famous. And we also now partner with a bank from Kuwait, and they have famous logos. And these logos help us to open next doors into this region. And we can talk to other businesses in fintech sphere about our case studies, about we can show how we collaborate with these clients, and we try to reach. We might, because it's more difficult to attract such kind of client profile, but we have much more opportunities with them, because if we are
100%.
talking about the bank, we work on omni-channel experience strategies.
Right.
So we could have several teams simultaneously working on not just on one project, but on a wide range of projects. It could be digital application for users. It could be CRM system for even banking employees. It could be ATM design. So different kind of projects. Or if bank is growing, they would like to attract new markets. They
100%.
could expand
and
their solution to other markets, and they need more and more capacity to adapt this product. So, but that's not true that we do not invest into attracting them. Actually, we invest a lot into developing relationships with them to understand their strategy, their potential needs. And we invest our efforts into collaboration with them. I mean, management efforts. It also costs.
So when you say invest, like how does it actually in reality? Like you guys fly over and you meet with them in their offices. You guys get them to lunches. You personally work with them, not just project manager. Like what was that? What does it take to retain and grow accounts like that?
Everything that you have just mentioned and more.
And more.
Basically, we work on both level, on operational level and on strategic level. On operational level, of course, the basis is to deliver excellent work, constantly deliver great quality and great results. So the team actually do the significant influence on this collaboration. But this is the operational level. Regarding strategic level, we have a special role for that. We call it client partner. And the client partner works on a strategic level with our accounts. The goal for client partner is to understand business goals of our client and understand their strategy and understand how we can bring more value to them as a vendor, and organize our team into offering them, into presenting them potential solutions and services that they may require into particular period of time. And we do this both online and offline. We organize business trips to our long-term clients. For instance, we had several business trips to MENA region and to USA and to London this year to all our current clients.
Right.
But together with that, we also do business development activities.
Right.
They could even suggest us whom we need to reach.
Yeah, we call it like parachuting or something, right? Like where you get in the location and you just kind of, hey, I'm in Bahrain meeting with like this bank, whatever. I saw you guys are located on nearby or whatever. I wanted to stop by, introduce, and like see whatever we can do, right? This client partner person, when did you introduce them? Was it when these bigger accounts appeared and you decided that, okay, we need to grow them, or that was before that? You always had those.
Yeah, it arose because of problems that we had before.
What were the problems?
It's specific of design services. Usually, the life cycle of design services are really small, short, And we delivered
What is
this
that short? Short is what, 3
it
months,
could
1
be
month?
2-3 months up
Okay.
to 6 months maximum.
Yeah.
And then if this is technological products, they move to development stage, they would like to stop or to pause design work,
Yeah.
then they forget about us. It was our goal also to be especially a long-term partner for businesses who value design-driven approach. And we decided to work on that goal. And after several years, we can measure and see that lifetime of our project became longer than it was before.
Twice longer?
2 or 3 times longer.
So between 6 to 9 months, basically, and some projects like for years, and some projects for years, of course.
Yeah, average, if we calculate mathematically what I have for today, it would be 6 months.
Okay.
But that's not true, because that's not so transparent metric, because the majority of our revenue that we generated this year, we received from clients that we got previous year.
Yeah, so it's like a Pareto law, basically. So 20% of accounts generate 80% of the revenue, or something like that. So maybe not exactly, but I got your point. So essentially, you have a few or a lot of retained accounts that you've been working with it last year, and you continue growing, and then you're still acquiring some new accounts that might churn, and the average will give you like the 6 month. But when you essentially look at the different type of measurement, like the size of the business that you're attracting, or when you attracted them, for example, like in the different time frames, then this number can be different. I wanted to go back to the point where you mentioned, so there was a problem that many design agencies struggle with: the short life cycle, the short life cycle of customers, and short LTV. Now you've solved that problem, so now you double, tripled it, and you've done that through introducing client partner manager. One thing. What else did you guys do to get to that much better benchmark than average is?
We also expanded range of our services.
Okay.
For instance, even sometimes we had situation even when clients didn't know that we do branding, for instance, or website design and development, if they partner with us only from UX UI design perspective with their digital product. So the first task was to introduce and to make sure that our clients are familiar with full range of services that we have already had in our portfolio. That was the first point.
How does it work? Like some calls with like where client manager introduced the services, some newsletter.
Client partner made a lot of work into this topic. Also, we sent them a presentation about us, one pagers, very short service list, just to make sure that they understand. But together with that, we expanded range of services. For instance, from design perspective, we moved to business analyst, also to product management. Now we could cover actually digital product lifecycle at every stage. From the very beginning, from ideas generation, from fresh idea through brainstorming, building the first prototype, and then to product launch and growth. We started work with analytics after the issue was that client after the product launch usually they stopped in collaboration with designers, but we started offer them analytics service. We help them to set up
you help to
metric.
optimize. Essentially, you set up analytics, and then you help to optimize some metrics for them, essentially with some tweaks.
We teach them to set up, to work, and to make decisions based on data that they could receive from their their users and from analytics that they receive. And we proactively gather also this insights, and we advise them and we offer them suggestions and
to
product
optimize it.
improvements
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they take into implementation.
With you, essentially, with your
But
designer.
and
Yeah.
also we expanded to development work because during many years we have been collaborating with thousands of development companies, and we attracted them as a partners to our current projects for development part. But now we try to do as much as possible in-house, because we really we found that in that case we could assure quality, and we could make sure that the end product will be high quality, and that we will meet clients' expectations. And that's why now we do also copywriting services, and we attract development specialists for to expand service line.
This is smart. You guys are doing really cool things. Like again, I just wanted to once again just to kind of sum it up for listeners. So basically, you've introduced several engagement models that are fixed entry offers, that are focused about, for example, around UI UX design, something that you guys are the best in. You start working with the customer, you then start expanding those accounts with like additional services and additional like time and material work, more design, etc., etc. Once this is all done, you start implementing additional services that could help you to retain those accounts, like analytics, because it makes sense. Like when you publish something like a dashboard, a website, a web page, like an application, people think that, oh, this is it, we're done. Okay, we've done that, great job. But that's not how it works. You start collecting data and then you start optimizing, because that button is not green enough or not in the right place or something like that. And then depending on users, you can actually, so essentially by providing, and most of the customers, as far as I know, they don't know how to implement the correct analytics or how to work with that analytics or do anything with that. So by implementing that, you're essentially retaining them, expanding, and then providing yourself with an opportunity to provide edits and again more design work. And then if they see that this is actually working and the products start picking up, then there's more features, there are more designs, there are more things, and let's go. This is really smart. Great job on that.
Thanks. We try to be data driven internally to make decisions based on data at Qubstudio, at our company, and then we offer this approach to our clients. We help them also to be data driven.
A lot of companies say that they're data driven. What does data driven? What does data driven mean to you? Like how Qubstudio is data driven? You guys like start your day with the dashboard or what?
Actually, to my mind, we made significant progress in this sphere during also last 2 years, because we really we started from our internal financial system, and first of all we built dashboards for our company. We set up the company-wide KPIs, metrics, and we started to track them, regularly review and make decisions on that. But
I'm gonna stop you right there. You kind of mentioned like KPIs. I need to stop because like everyone probably like myself, what are the KPIs? So what is that internal KPI dashboard that you are looking at? What are those metrics?
We use balanced scorecard method, if you're familiar with that. So
no, I'm not.
We have just 5 company-wide KPIs, but they are not just financial. We have 2 financial KPIs that we track regularly.
What
revenue,
is that?
Revenue and gross profit margin.
Gross profit margin, okay.
And this is financial part, but we also track net promotion score from our clients, because it's extremely important for us. And also employees net promotion score
Mhm.
and employees engagement rate, because
Interesting. So what is
because
the employee engagement rate? How does it measure? How is it measured?
this is methodology which it is like it's not just one metric. This is like the measure of several different parts. We do regular questionnaires
Okay.
to like be annual,
Right.
like every 6 months.
Yeah.
We do questionnaires among all our employees, and there are different parts, like your relationships with your manager,
Mm.
like how you feel at your work, your suggestion, general atmosphere in the
Right.
company. Does general company strategy resonate with your
So this is one
personal
metric.
feeling?
Gotcha. So the question is one metric. What else is
Mhm.
included in that?
Yeah, and then that engagement rate in general.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Understand. So that
Your
makes sense.
relationship with manager,
Yeah.
with in your team, how you in general are satisfied with your
Mhm.
working place.
Okay. And
Um,
they show. So okay. So it's a so, but then this is similar to the net promoting score. No, it's the same.
Net promoter score is how would they recommend
Right.
Qubstudio as a
Gotcha.
place to
But not
work.
how they're engaged. Right. So
But
it might be different. Yeah.
a little bit different, and both are really important for us. We track both, and we really take seriously this KPIs. And because we have proof that high engagement rate really influences business a lot.
Yeah. That's
Because
true.
in service business, talents are the greatest
Yeah.
asset.
Yeah. It's your
So
core.
only happy people can produce amazing work, and can make our clients happy. That's
That's
why
true.
it's important for us to understand that our organization is healthy, not just from financial perspective, but from other aspects as well.
Yeah. Now, two metrics about the people, that your turnover rate or your what's the name of it? Like your is the
Engagement rate.
yeah, yeah. But then like, what's the? I know like there's a let's this like a turnover rate, like a percentage of people that are like leaving the company comparing to the total. Which is I think like the benchmark is something like about 11% or 10%, which is like okay. Is
Yeah,
that
we're in a benchmark also, but for instance, the average life cycle per employee
yes?
have been increased during
How many
also
months? How many months or years? How what's your
from 2.5 years to 3.5 years
You have
now.
3 years average tenure in your
3 years and a
organization.
half.
3 year and a half. Wow, that's a lot.
3.5. Yeah,
Yay,
yeah.
congrats, congrats. This is
And it
actually a lot.
increased. It increased. It increased.
This is a lot. I know the benchmark is like 1.8 month or something for a
Yeah,
lot of companies.
we invest a lot into developing relationships with our talents, and we invest a lot into building motivational system and everything around people
This is the show.
to keep
This,
them at Qubstudio.
this is the show where we when we say a lot we put the number to a lot. So this is actually again 3.5 years is very impressive. I think like whatever like Tesla has 2.5 years or something. So you guys are doing a great job, and now I know for a fact because we're in the same kind of industry, so having 3.5 years is like huge. So you say like you wanted to make people happy, you invest a lot. So
Yeah.
what's your HR budget in terms of percentage of the revenue, or how do you measure like a lot in your company, like and what do you do to make people happy? What is like, I wanted to copy something, Nadya. Tell me more. What can I do to get to point 3.5 except like working with people, hiring them, nurturing them, helping them, mentoring them, and doing something that kind of it goes without saying, but something that is uniquely for
I
you.
couldn't.
How did you
I,
increase it?
I couldn't give you numbers because I don't remember them. I haven't them on my table. But we do not. It's not about investing a lot in terms of money,
Mhm.
and we do not pay top on the market salary.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have such a strategy, but we have complex benefits package. It
You have.
includes first of all, people work in a company for great projects, and
Sure.
projects
Yes.
usually projects motivates them a lot, and they are at the first place when they answer questions. So that's why we invest into business development and into attracting clients that would be interesting for our people.
I imagine someone during the recruitment call is like talking about the benefits as the first question, right? It's like you're not gonna hire them. If someone is on the call talking with you, like, what's your benefit packages, and you're like, why do you ask me this? So it's like, for me, it's always weird, honestly, like, because like it's something that recruitment team talks about, like generally, like, you don't agree with me.
Maybe it's not about a benefit package. It's about company culture.
Okay.
We really take our values seriously, and we have just 3 values: create, care, and grow. And we try to build our philosophy and working attitude around these values. We described values into our behavioral codes. How you should interact with your team at workplace, what kind of behavior and what kind of interaction we expect from each other, and with our clients, and with yourself. And based on that values, we create we built all the performance methodology. We always we strive to do it, to provide feedback and received feedback according with company values and company's working attitude. And I'm proud to share that 100% of our employees share our company's value, and they answered that they that company values resonate with their personal values. And this is the core that keep them at Qubstudio. And around these values, this is a good base that we can build on the top, different procedures, initiatives, reward system, etc. But we try.
What are the top 3? What are the top 3? This is like, sorry for interrupting you. What are the top 3 things that you think are promoting the values more, or just maybe catering the nurturing the values more in your organization? Because like create, care, and grow.
We talk about them regularly.
Okay, so it's like it's about like, so ongoing. You need to talk about that basically on a monthly basis.
We refer to values when we give feedback. For instance,
I gotcha.
When we have one-on-one conversation, we can tell that, sorry, but this attitude is not
within the value code, within the code of conduct.
Yeah, because in our code of rules, usually we value time of each other. That's why we always should come prepared to the meeting.
Okay.
And you were not prepared.
Yeah. I understand like the old timers, they kind of have that in their DNA for now. But then the new people that comes to your company, like how do they get educated on those values? How do you promote the values for them? How does it work? Like onboarding, adaptation, Wikipedia.
Onboarding procedures. We have a presentation, and we have also mentors like buddies for every newcomers. And the goal is to onboard new person to our culture, and then we have one-on-one regular conversations with HR person and with manager, and they try to refer to our values often. And we invest a lot into communication, and we receive pretty good feedback and results, because now even not managers but designers, business analysts, they really refer to values in their day-to-day communication, and they provide feedback that this behavior is not within our corporate culture. Even they could provide this feedback to their managers, even to me. And if you are talking about cultural, we have those 360 feedback methodology, and everyone in the company, including me, regularly receive these feedbacks. And we have like a growth feedback session with the manager, and during that growth feedback session, a manager translates those feedbacks and try to make corrections into your future behavior.
How many people you have on board right now total?
70 people.
70 people.
Yeah,
70 people.
68
How many,
or something.
how big is the HR team?
4.
4. So people partner, 2 people partners?
We have like a head of HR.
Head of HR, okay.
Then general HR.
HR generalist kind of that. Yeah, okay.
Recruiter.
1 recruiter and?
And 1 office manager.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's it.
Oh. So it's essentially the head of HR and then HR generalists, they work
just
with like...
But we expand this processes through our managers, through our leads, through other people, and not HRs are responsible for that procedures, but we try to build flat structure.
I'm smiling right now because I can relate to what you're going through, and to having this vibe and this energy and environment in the company is so cool. But I know what's happening after 200, 300 people, and things gonna get messy for you guys, like completely. And you just start thinking like, oh wow, like is this what the company I've been building so far? It's like it's as if like something like changes that. And I remember at Belkins we had the same kind of energy. I think like we capped it to something like 150 people, 125. But then we obviously made a mistake. We sort of like we continued operating the company in the same fashion as before, and it caught up with us later when we didn't introduce the compensation and benefit people. We didn't, I remember back in the day, I read from Amazon that they are letting go about 20% of like they have it like red every year, and I was like, why do you do that? Like, what's the point if you can work with people for a long period of time? And this is so cool. And then after some time, I realized that it's actually a good way of cycling through some people or some positions every year, just because at some point in time, people start being very comfortable as where they are, and you don't see the innovation, etc. Plus, they start dragging the company from, especially during the rapid growth, like when you're going from 70 to 150 in several years, then people are like, oh, Belkins is not as it was before, or something like that. And the change, the transformation is like very key. And I'm again very excited about what you guys are building, because this is the environment that you definitely wanted to work on or in. So great job.
I agree with your thoughts, and it might be challenging to scale this to bigger teams, but we try to build foundation. Also, we work on procedures, processes, documents, etc., to be able to scale the system. And we have really smart HR.
HR, it's one of the core people. So it's like when you build up your company, you have a very strong CFO or someone like controlling the finance. You have a great HR. You have a great HR
Yeah.
and recruitment because you need to be recruitment and HR driven 100%. And then probably you need a great marketing or in the marketing, and then sales, and then obviously delivery. Delivery goes without saying, right? So essentially, you kind of need every person in the vertical to be grow. Okay, I know we still have just a few minutes left here, and I will let you go. I wanted to touch base on some key metrics for your business. So something that so what's your year-to-year growth last few years, maybe in terms of percentage or in terms of like how you've grown? And then so that's the first thing. And then tell me something about your client metric. Like you already mentioned, like that you increased your lifetime to 9 months, 6 average, but then you have more than that. You mentioned some sales cycles for bigger accounts are like 6-12 months. Do you have any, like, either like you're measuring churn rate or retention rate, something like that?
Actually, churn rate is not so important to us, not crucial to measure because we are service agency, not product. And
Right.
it might be challenging to calculate this. But we measure customer acquisition cost.
Okay.
And last year it is around $10,000.
$10,000.
It has increased from
It has
previous year from 6 to 10.
25-40%. Yeah,
It's
I know.
significant, but
I
it's
know.
because we invest a lot into business development activities. And as we are targeting now those larger client profiles, we do understand that we will receive a rise later because we still have potential leads in our pipeline. They are promising and we hope to convert them. We do this as much as possible to convert more. But customer acquisition cost now is around 10. Of course, it is different through different channels. If we are talking about inbound or references, it will be lower, or leads from Clutch, it will be lower. But if it comes to road shows, conferences, it will be higher, the highest customer acquisition cost for these campaigns. Regarding metrics, through good times, if you're talking about Corona period, that annual revenue growth was around 60% per year. Now we have last 2 years, of course, are really challenging for as a regional Ukrainian company, and we operate under a Russian invasion to Ukraine. It's extremely difficult to operate within these conditions. And we have general worldwide recession and crisis. You feel this, everyone feel
everyone
this.
feel that. $10,000 customer acquisition cost feels that as well, because it also affects.
But lifetime value from one customer is much more higher, more higher.
Yes, of course.
And it's still good business, even with these expenditures.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it's 100%, like the puzzle gets in together for this, because like if you invest a lot, let's say $10,000 into acquiring a customer, you're moving up market, so you're getting the bigger accounts, and then you're introducing your services to and the roles to expand to those accounts. Only this strategy might work, because if you're not doing one of the of this actions in the puzzle, then the whole kind of card house could just go to crap. So good thinking there.
It also has to be noted that we have now, when we are talking about data-driven, I mean also scenario planning. That's the thing that we applied recently. And according to our baseline scenario, we need at least 5% growth quarterly to maintain our current expenditures and to maintain teams' remuneration. At least it's a baseline scenario, but we would like to achieve for this year, like realistic or optimistic scenario. We would like to achieve 15% of growth
Quarterly?
Quarterly, yeah, it will be.
Oh, wow.
And we calculated what we need for that, which metrics should be increased and how. And we actually built our strategic session around this
Mhm,
plan,
mhm,
how to
mhm.
achieve these KPIs.
Um,
Let's see.
Something,
Let's see.
and tell me what you think about this. We also have been doing a lot of planning in December. Like, I think like I've spent so many hours like doing the planning. We'd also have the baseline modeling and the scenarios, the worst case scenario, the inspirational case scenario, and we are just playing with our own business strategic. But my co-founder Vlad, who is kind of responsible for our strategy, he've been spending a lot of time reading reports for Fortune 500 companies and generally, and they all are predicting there will be a growth spike in the first and the second quarter, but in the third and fourth quarter will be slowed down because of the fact that there will be like 3 elections in the United States, China, and Russia at that time. So about 60% of the global population will be affected. So that's why there's a prediction that it will be like a very slow end of the year. Did you guys what do you think about the next year in terms of like the planning? Did you have an increase or the same every quarter, or you also kind of counter out those events?
Yeah, you provided actually good insights for me just recently as well. I will take this into consideration. Um, um, Actually, we do not have linear growth during the last year. We have just
Yeah, the roller coaster,
yeah.
have. Yeah.
The third quarter was the best.
Yes,
The
third quarter,
third quarter,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
For us last year, we started with like a
and
very
the
strong first
quarter,
quarter, then we went down to the
yeah,
second, and then the third one was like fine,
yeah,
and then the first one, what's the
yeah.
first quarter? It's still kind of
It's
our
still
like weird.
last
It's
than
weird.
third one.
Yeah.
December is bad.
It's very bad. I know.
But usually,
We are recording this in December, so guys, December is like you see, I'm getting older for year
but
after year.
yeah, but I do agree with the forecast that you have just mentioned, because I have in pipeline good leads, and we closed several contracts during last weeks. So
Yeah,
I could predict and estimate that we will grow in Q1.
yeah, yeah,
Then we'll see. We'll
yeah,
see how we will put our strategy into work,
yeah.
and if we could achieve our plans, and then we'll see. We are small, and we do not need huge amount of projects. We need several few good
Yeah.
projects,
No, I mean,
and
like, you're not that
mm,
small, Nadia. Don't be that. You're not that small. Like,
yeah,
having
but
70 people in
yeah.
design agency, this is a
Uh,
great business. And like something that I just wanted to kind of finish off with, like people that are listening to this, take into consideration the the experience of like my experience and then Nadia's experience. They've been 17 years in the business. Like financial planning and modeling and forecasting and budgeting is one of the key factors of like successful business for the next year,
yeah,
because it gives you a assurance what I can do, how much money I can spend, how many people I can hire, what do I need to actually, and
yeah,
then as Nadia mentioned, like having let's say 5% quarterly growth is must have for them to think is going to
yeah.
be where they want. This is very great. Like that's one thing, right? Um, and then yeah. So I think like definitely think about this and start doing the planning as soon as they can. I remember I started doing that during my third or fourth year, and we've been on this exercise like every year since then. Awesome, Nadia. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining me today. So excited to learn more about Qubstudio, and guys, you're like really doing amazing job. So congrats on your success and on your approach. And I'm sure that you guys going to be kind of successful with whatever ventures you guys are doing. So
Yeah.
thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thanks. We'll do our best. We
I'm
try.
sure
We
you will.
really put a lot of effort into that.
Everyone see that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congrats,
Thanks.
congrats, Nadia.